With Mr. Hartman
Right.
in biology.
So we said that prokaryotes are a lot simpler than eukaryotes in how they divide. They have, instead of, for us, having 23 chromosomes, we only have, and instead of, we have kind of a double set of chromosomes, one from our mom, one from our dad. And we'll call that diploid, okay? Does anybody, or diploid, does anybody have a guess of why they call it diploid?
To send them out.
Yep. I heard a couple whispers or hands up or whatever. There are two sets. Diploid. Okay. All right. So they have one circle-shaped chromosome attached to the cell. What does it look like it's attached to? Yeah, the cell membrane. A copy of that DNA. Well, DNA or RNA. Nope. Chromosome. A copy of that chromosome is made and also attaches to the.
Mrs. Schaefer, page 106. Mrs. Schaefer, page 106.
All right, and you can see that there. So this is step one. So we can see that one here. Then a copy is made, and that attaches to the cell membrane. So that's step two. Then the cell membrane and the cell wall are added between the anchor points until they're separated. So it just kind of starts pinching off right here. Until, so this is also sort of three. So it starts adding cell wall and cell membrane in here until they pinch off and until the circles separate. Okay. We can watch a little bit of paramecium. Okay. So this is a picture of a paramecium dividing. It's under a microscope. It's a live slide, and so they're watching this paramecium go around. It's kind of crazy. I mean, it acts a lot like an animal might or whatever.
When I looked through microscope,
It never split
that looks
though.
so cool.
Yeah. What's that?
You have this on the line, it never split. It just stayed like that the whole time.
That's true.
I don't know.
But as you can see, we'll skip. We're not going to watch this the whole time because it's pretty much the same thing all the way through. But you can see right here. Right here. It's kind of really solidly attached. Now they're almost two parameciums kind of trying to get off of each other. Hey, get away from me. And they actually have cilia. Do you remember what cilia stands? Like what the word cilia is?
Eyelashes?
Eyelashes. Yeah. So, but they're only called cilia because they look like eyelashes under the microscope, that sort of thing. But they're like little arms and fans that move them around, and like little paddles, like thousands of paddles along the outside here. They're so small we can't really see them. But after a while, you can start seeing that it's sort of starting to separate more, huh? So let's move it over just a little bit. So there, it's getting pretty close to being separated there from different views. Trying to separate from each other. Keep it going. Almost loose. And you're right, Travis, it doesn't actually show completely splitting, which is weird. I don't know if he lost them on the slide, it's possible that he could have moved the slide wrong and, oh shoot, I lost them. But it's pretty
World we
sweet
live
nonetheless. I mean, these are single-celled organisms, okay? Kind of whipping around like
Looks
this.
like it keeps on twisting.
They do. They do keep on twisting.
Oh, St. Mark's.
St. Mark's. Little advertisement there. Okay. So that's kind of how a single-celled organism, one of these prokaryotes, I guess some single-celled might be eukaryotic, but so here are prokaryotes and how they divide. They double the DNA, it attaches to the walls, and then it adds cell membrane or wall to it. Not too complicated. All right, so now go ahead and do your bell ringer. We mentioned it just a little bit, and I want you to kind of take a guess as to what's diploid and what's haploid here.
Can we get a drink?
Yes, we can. As you're thinking about it, let's remember what di means.
Two.
It means two. So which one do you think would be diploid? You don't necessarily have to know what ploid means. I'm not really going to emphasize that too much. All right, it looks like you guys did a good job here. Yes, this is diploid because we have two of kind of the same size chromosomes. And actually, there's a name for this. When you have two chromosomes that are the same size and they're set together, and say this one's from mom and this one's from dad, we call this a, does anybody know what we call it? Okay. We call this a homologous pair. Can anybody see a root word in there that might
Homo.
kind of give you the idea here?
Homo.
Derek?
Homo.
Homo. What does homo mean?
Human.
Nope. Well, okay. In Latin it means human. In Greek it means something else. Or either what, wait, hold on. Greek it might be, no. Pretty sure it's Latin means human. But in Greek it means something else.
Identical.
What's that?
Identical.
Identical is very, you're on the right track. Same, okay? So homo means same. So these homologous pairs, they're the same size, they carry the same genes. They'll have different variants of those genes, but they carry the same genes. So what's something that we've studied already that has the word homo in it?
Homo sapiens.
Always, yeah. Well, I guess we haven't said
Well,
it.
Homo sapiens.
Homogenized?
And that's the human side. What's that?
Homogenized?
Homogeneous? Yeah, like a homogeneous mixture has, no matter what point you look at it, it'll look the same. That's homogeneous, homogeneous. I think you all know what homosexual means. People who are attracted to the same sex. Heterosexual, attracted to the opposite. It's all, it's the same root words, okay? So homogeneous, heterogeneous. Heterogeneous, then what do you think heterogeneous would mean?
And attracted to anything.
Different. So it's a mixture in which if you pinpointed a certain location, it would look different than any other given spot, okay? So homologous or homologous, to make it sound smooth, it's homologous, okay? So this is a homologous pair because it's the same type of chromosome. So this is, say, chromosome 16, okay? But we can only see, 4 pairs of chromosomes here. So, anyway. So this is diploid, this makes this haploid. Are there homologous pairs here?
No.
Nope. So we can say no homologous pairs. All right, so what are some examples of cells that could be diploid? What do you think might have full sets of DNA? Like both from mom and dad. give you a hint. It's pretty much almost all those types of cells in our body. Almost all.
Reproductive?
Blood cells.
Okay. Actually, blood cells don't even have DNA.
No.
Crazy.
Really?
So they don't have a
Bless
nucleus.
you.
Like they I'm pretty sure they don't have any DNA. They for sure don't have a nucleus at all. But they are made from what? Where are they made from? Bone marrow. And they don't actually need DNA because all they do is carry oxygen and that sort of thing, and they're remade enough that I'll have to check that. I don't think they carry any DNA. Maybe they have some, but yes. Have
Tell us
fun.
that story.
Use your elbows. Okay. All right. So some examples.
Nerve cells.
Nerve cells. What else?
White blood cells.
Actually, white blood cells, I think they do. But just in case, I'm not going to put it down.
Brain cells.
Brain cells, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Reproductive cells.
They're a type of nerve cells. Give me some others.
Skin cells?
Skin cells.
Muscle cells.
No, red blood cells do not have it because they do not need it because they don't have a nucleus.
There you go. Thank you.
Muscle cells.
Technology.
Yes, sir.
Reproductive
No, that's what I
cells.
said.
Come on.
Skin cells.
Muscle
All right,
cells.
that's another one. We'll stop there. Muscle cells. And what might be haploid then?
Blood cells.
Blood cells don't have DNA at all. Haploid. What
Reproductive.
might only need one of each? I'm thinking human cells still.
Ion.
No, that's fine. What's that?
Ion.
Viruses. They might be considered viruses. I'm thinking human cells though. Something where not all of your genetic information is needed. I can give it to you too. Sperm cells and the egg cells. So this is where we're going to transition a little bit into from our normal cells into some reproduction stuff. The rest of this chapter and the next couple chapters are going to be about some reproduction stuff, the genetic nature of it. We're not going to talk about how sexual stuff works, but the genetics of it we are going to talk about. So let's go through a few definitions first. Gametes. Gametes is another word for, does anybody have a guess?
What type of animal?
What type of cells? Don't know? Sex cells. Stop smirking, Jacob.
Not.
All right, so gametes are sex cells. So a couple examples of that for us are
Sperm and egg.
sperm and egg. So we have the sperm and an egg. Let's draw a little bit of that. And we'll kind of draw a couple of chromosomes in there too. Okay. I'm gonna label it. I'm gonna show it a little different. I'm gonna make the color a little different here. But and keep in mind, is this actually all the chromosomes we have in
No.
us? How many chromosomes
32.
does this have in there?
23.
23. Okay. So it has 23, and this one's actually going to have 23 as well. So keep that in mind. That's for humans. I mean, for say a a pig or something, it's a little different. I don't know how many chromosomes pigs have, but. All right, so we have a sperm and an egg. These are examples of what again?
Sex cells?
Sex cells, also called gametes. Okay, so these are examples of gametes. Let's talk about what happens when they come together. It is called fertilization. So fertilization is the fusion of
Sperm and the egg.
sperm and egg. So what does fusion mean anyway?
Bringing together.
Bring together, to come together, become one. I kind of like the term become one. Like in fusion in the sun, there's something called fusion that happens in the sun. Does anybody know what happens there?
Hydrogen. Or it's helium and, wait, no, hydrogen and helium. Something like that.
It has to do with hydrogen and helium. In fusion in the sun, two hydrogens fuse, they become one to become helium. You have hydrogen. We learned a little bit about chemistry a little bit before, right? Hydrogen has how many protons? One. Helium has two. So when hydrogens fuse, they have become one element and now have two protons. Okay? In the same way here,
They give off a lot of energy, that's why.
a lot of energy. And that's what fuels the sun. And that's what, I mean, think about that. Millions of miles away, there's this ball of hydrogen gas, and they're fusing and releasing energy. And that's what's heating us up millions of miles away. That's intense. You know? That's crazy. But in the same way, the sperm and the egg, they fuse. The sperm has 23 chromosomes. We could even write that there. Let's do that. 23 chromosomes. This is what again? If it's only got one set of DNA?
Haploid.
Haploid. I guess we can put it down there too. And here, we also have 23 chromosomes. And it's called haploid again. But then they come together to form, when the egg and the sperm fuse, they make a, does anybody know what it's called? Start.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. How'd you know that? Did you look it up? Okay. Oh, sorry. No. Anytime I need to move, say, hey, get out of the way. Nicely. Be nice about it. Okay. So fusion of egg and sperm makes a zygote. You said, how'd you know that?
7th grade on the same stuff.
Okay, 7th grade. 8th grade for you. Egg and, when they fuse, they make a zygote. Zygote. Okay, so here we make a zygote. And now, what's true about its, what about its,
Haploid.
it is a diploid. So we're going to have, this is still in there, and so is this.
That's fused.
But it's fused, so now these chromosomes that were once part of each are now part of one. So it makes a zygote. So this is a zygote. And so this is this haploid or diploid?
Diploid.
This would be diploid. And technically, how many chromosomes does it have? 46, but it's 23 pairs. Okay? 46 chromosomes. In other words, 23 pairs. 23 pairs of, what do we call them? 23 what type of pairs?
Haploid.
Diploid, it's called a diploid cell because they are homologous. Homologous, they're the same type of chromosome. Okay, so the number of chromosomes that are different in a cell is represented by the letter
B.
N.
Oh.
Today's presentation is brought to you by the letter N. Also Sesame Street. I'm on a Sesame Street kick. So I am on a Sesame Street kick. I played a song from my childhood on Sesame Street earlier.
Yeah, King Baker.
It's
You
not a
guys-
square.
It's hit to be a square. So it's represented by the letter N. So, and then if a cell has 2 of each different type of chromosome,
And
we label it. What do you think?
B. The B.
No.
It's D,
A.
C,
M.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H,
It has
I,
to
J,
do with
K, L,
N
M,
still.
N, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V,
Where?
W, X, Y, and Z.
Okay, capital N is a good guess. Double N or 2N. So if we were to look at it that way, let's talk. Oh. Is this still recording? Yep. Okay. So if this is 2N, then we could say this is N, this is N, and this would be 2N. Okay? And then reproduction that involves the production and the subsequent. What does subsequent mean anyway? Right here. Subsequent means what comes next. Or, I like that. Following. What comes next, yeah. So the production and subsequent fusion of sex cells coming together again. So when they're produced and then they come together, that is called,
Zygote?
it's a process. We're going to call it a process. It's close. What did you say though? Yeah, close. What kind of reproduction? It's called sexual reproduction. Okay. All right. So that's by definition what it is, and actually that can amount to different things for different organisms. All right. Now we're going to talk about meiosis a little bit. We'll talk about this. We won't get through this page. I suppose we'll do this first set and then watch a video and probably call it done. So the process by which haploid nuclei, what's haploid again? Kelly? Okay. I wouldn't say pair because they aren't in pairs. One. Yeah, there you go. Half of a pair. I like that. So it's just one set of chromosomes. But it's a full set, okay? So it technically has all the genetic information that it would need to do its jobs, okay? The process by which haploid nuclei are formed from, hey. Anybody have a guess here? From what type of nuclei? Good job. So you have a diploid cell that then creates haploid cells, okay? This process is called meiosis or meiosis, whatever you want to call it. This is being a PUI program. That shouldn't be mitosis. This should be meiosis. We'll watch a video on that then. And I'm gonna actually.
Quiet.